longer you wait to do something, you're allowing more time for self-doubt to creep in. Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to the Steady Making It podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year, guys. It's 2025. I know I've been missing for a couple weeks. If it's on my podcast, a couple months, but that's all right. It's a new year and we're getting right back into it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Steady Making It podcast and my channel, really all the platforms where I post content are all about self-love, intentional living, and chasing your dreams. So if that's your thing, then subscribe. All right, we're gonna get right into it. It's a new year. My setup looks a little bit different because I am back home in Lagos, Nigeria, where I come every single holiday for a little end of year refresh. I got my Christmas hair in. I'm a ginger girly for the holidays, and it was such a refreshing time. And it's always so exciting to kick off the new year just surrounded by family and being back home. So I hope you guys had a good Christmas break. How was it? Let me know how it was. Today's episode is going to be all about 2024 habits that I will not be taking into 2025. These are some of the things. So this is kind of an episode where I'll be sort of dragging myself and just like letting you guys in on some of my naughty behavior that I was up to that I really need to let go of 2025. I'm going to try my best. We're all about trying here. We try our best. And as you know, I'll keep you guys updated on my progress as we go along. So let's get right into the episode. Grab your favorite drink and let's talk about it. So the first 2024 bad habit that I've had that I'm going to try not to bring into 2025 is getting easily distracted from my goals. Guys, this is a big one for me. If I think I have ADHD, self-diagnosed, because I will have like a set goal. This is a set path. And then I get easily distracted by some shiny butterfly that is trying to distract me or some other project or some other thing that I really don't need to be doing, but I get distracted by it. So giving an example, let's use social media as an example. One of my goals for last year was to really focus on TikTok and YouTube. But there's something about Instagram that just keeps on making you want to try. Like, it's not my favorite platform, but I'm always like, it's an important platform. It's been around forever. Let me just try. So then I get distracted from my TikTok and YouTube strategy, which are both platforms that I actually enjoy posting on. And then I start trying to create content on Instagram. And then that keeps me distracted because then it doesn't perform well, whatever it is. And I just get distracted from social media in general. So that's just one example where I set goals for myself and then I allow myself to be easily distracted from them. And that is something I do not want to be doing in 2025 anymore. Or let's talk about how I would want to have like a brainstorming strategy session on my content, and then I start scrolling forever and getting distracted or ending up in some rabbit hole about some conspiracy theory or celebrity feud, and then I get distracted. So in 2025, I really want to limit how much content that I consume and focus more on creating. So no more scrolling forever for like inspo or just getting distracted and lost in things. I want to set strict time limits for myself on how long I'm going to be on social media consuming content and scrolling and leaving more time for brainstorming and ideating and working on my own stuff. Hello, let's talk about working on your own stuff, putting your own stuff out, and not only about consuming others. So, something that people have recommended to help you stay focused on your dream is to journal a day in your life. Like, what does a day in your life look like 5 to 10 years from now? Like, from when you wake up, what city are you in? What projects are you working on? Like, what are you doing for fun? Like, journal what an ideal day in your life is. And based on that, set goals for yourself for today. And anything outside of that, you don't need to be working on that. So, I'll share my top 3 goals with you for this year. So, my top 3 goals are my acting. I really want to be cast in a project by the end of the year. Second is my podcast, guys. I want to grow my podcast. I'm committed to growing my podcast. I want to get amazing guests on here for you. I want to be able to host an event. I want to collaborate with other podcast platforms. So I really want to grow my podcast. And the third is I want to grow on social media. I need to be a little bit more specific with this. At first it was TikTok, but we don't know what's happening with TikTok now. So I want to grow on YouTube. So those are sort of my 3 buckets of my main focuses this year. So acting, my podcast, and content creation, and anything outside of that, except of course, my job that pays the bills, except my job. So anything outside of that, I cannot focus on. It's a distraction. Do not focus on it. Have your 3 main things that are your main priority, and you need to push everything else aside. Set time limits on your phone, create boundaries around yourself. If you're someone that likes to be out every single weekend, maybe pick 1 or 2 weekends a month that you go out and the rest are used to focus on your goals. Really cut out distractions, guys. So let's see how I do. I'll give you guys like a mid-year update on how this is going. But yeah, that's a 2024 habit that I do not want to bring into the new year, is getting easily distracted. All right, the second habit that I will not be bringing into 2025 is procrastination. And I know that a lot of us can probably relate to this. You want to do better, you know better, but you're just not doing it. And to drag myself here a little bit, so I shared that one of my goals was to be cast in a project by the end of the year. So I get this invitation to submit an audition. And why do I take like 2, 3 weeks to submit the audition? Like I saw the deadline was further away, like I had time, so I just procrastinated on it, which is a no-no in acting. You want to get your audition in as quickly as possible, because what if they already find someone for the role or they're already shortlisted? Like you want to get it in there as quickly as possible. But I let time pass, and what happens when you let time pass is that you give room for self-doubt to come in. So the more time I spent procrastinating by not submitting this audition, the more I felt like I couldn't do it, I wasn't up for it, I'm not going to get it anyway, this is a waste of time, it's too hard, I'm embarrassed to submit. Just like all sorts of thoughts started creeping in because I was procrastinating on getting this done. So I finally submitted it this morning, which I'm happy I did. I'm not really gonna clap for myself or tap myself on the back because I submitted it late. So that's a habit that I really want to stop. And I was really disappointed in myself because I'm like, this is the start of a new year and I'm already bringing in these bad habits. So for the rest of the year, I really, really want to clamp down on my procrastination and just also understand the root of my procrastination. A lot of times it's self sabotage, which we don't realize. And I think in my case, a lot of times it is self sabotage when I'm waiting on something. I also have to sign up for like an acting intensive program. Y'all, I got accepted into this program like before Christmas, like before the holidays, and I still haven't registered. And there are only like 16 spots, and once it's full, it's full. So I don't know why I haven't submitted. Again, it's self-sabotage. I let the doubt creep in. I started thinking this is a lot of money. You know, why are you wasting your time with this? It's probably not going to work out, all these things. And I haven't signed up for it. So procrastination is something I want to clamp down on, guys. It's a bad habit. I don't want to bring it into the new year. It's not letting me act as my higher self. So if procrastination is something you struggle with, I definitely recommend trying to figure out what the root source of it is and getting a handle of that and just doing it anyway, doing what you need to do. If you need to get a friend, if you need to tell a friend to keep you accountable, like, hey, I have to do this thing, I want to get it done by this date, please hold me accountable to it. Do that if you need to do that so that we don't bring procrastination into 2025 and let it ruin our chance of reaching our dreams. Another thing that helps me with procrastination, especially when I'm writing a to-do list, if it's something that I can do very quickly, I'm going to do it immediately. So if I need to send an email, why would I wait till like 5 o'clock or wait for later in the day? I'm going to send the email immediately. So making sure that those quick tasks that you know you can do, get it done immediately. Also, sometimes we need to audit when we're most productive. If you're more productive at nighttime, save your tasks for nighttime. For me, I'm more productive or the most productive that first, like maybe like 2 hours after I get up, that sort of window, that's when I'm the most productive. So I started saving like all the tedious tasks that I don't like to do for morning time. So like emails, making appointments, like checking for auditions, all those sort of things. I do that first thing in the morning because I know as the day progresses, as that 9 to 5 gets to you and you're tired, you're not going to want to do it. So optimize for your most productive time of the day and get your tasks done then. All right, the third one. Let's be vain a little bit. Let's talk about surface level things like looks, all right? So the third one is my health, healthy eating to be specific, y'all. I wanted to eat more healthy, like cook more whole grains, yada yada yada, whatever the buzz healthy words are. I wanted to do more of that in 2024, but I didn't, and I definitely want to do more of it in 2025. So a habit that I will not be bringing into 2025 is not consciously eating, right? Like not taking care of my physical wellness enough. So all the bad habits of eating like fruit snacks, y'all know those Welch's fruit snacks? Y'all, I'm obsessed with those. But it's a lot of sugar. I know they say it's healthy, but it's not real fruit. So I want to cut down on like, I'm not really a big snacker, so I wouldn't say junk food, but I want to cut down on not consciously knowing what I'm putting in my body and not making more of an effort to eat healthy. So I want to have more of a handle on the foods I eat. I want to work out more. I actually joined a cardio like dance workout class right before the holidays, so I'm excited to get back into it. So something I will not be bringing into 2025 is not taking care of my body. That's donezo. We're not going to do that anymore. So that's something that I am going to change this year. Let's talk about fear, guys. Let's talk about being fearful. Let's talk about how I do not want to bring that into 2025. It's so funny because I tell people all the time, like when I was much younger, I feel like I didn't really think, or I wasn't really scared of fear in terms of putting myself out there. So if I had to reach out to someone I didn't know, like send a cold email, I will do it. I will DM, I'll do whatever. But now that I'm getting older, it's like this fear has started creeping in where I start to think, oh my God, I don't want them to think I'm bothering them. I don't want them to think I'm a creep. Like, I really don't want to put myself out there. I'm scared. So in terms of acting, for example, I'm supposed to put out like my monologues and like tapes and stuff on social media because casting directors a lot of times just scroll social media and they can see like clips and things of you and like reach out through there. So I know I'm shooting myself in the foot, not putting myself out there. But there's that fear, right? It's like, what if this person from high school or college sees this and thinks it sucks, or like this isn't something I've really talked about openly, like it's probably not great, I don't want to put it out there. I have this fear that I think has been holding me back. And I was listening to a podcast recently, and it talked about like they can't hire you if they don't know you exist. And this applies to any sort of field you're in, any sort of creative field. If you're a musician, if you own a business, if you're a podcaster, a content creator, an actor, literally whatever it is, people cannot hire you if they do not know you exist. So that really stuck with me because I was like, dang, like if I don't put myself out there, how would I don't even know the opportunities I may be losing out on, because a lot of times when you put out stuff, it can be like, you never know who's watching, guys. You never know who's watching. Someone could see it and be like, hey, I didn't know you were acting. Like, I have this director friend who I want to introduce you to. Like, you just never know. So that's something I've been thinking a lot about. Like, I want to let go of that fear coming into 2025 and really put myself out there. I'm not making any promises on when I'm going to do this. This is really, really difficult. I will keep you guys posted, but I really want to let go of that in 2025 and go back to being fearless, go back to just doing what I need to do to make my goals happen. I just want to let go of that fear. So if you struggle with that, especially the fear of putting yourself out there, let me know what you're sort of telling yourself to help you work through this. Like let's help each other out. But that's something I definitely don't want to bring into 2025. It's so funny because my word for last year was actually audacious, just being bold, being like, just going after all the things, being like having the audacity to go after all the things. And I don't know what my word for this year is going to be. It might be audacious again. I'm not sure. I'll update you guys on what my word of the year is going to be. But I really want to carry that audacity into everything I do, whether it's at my 9 to 5, with acting, with my podcast. Let me just go after all the things. And I try to remind myself, like, again, if they can't hire you, if they don't know you exist, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities by not putting yourself out there. And what do you have to be scared of? Like, just try. So those are the mantras I'm sort of repeating to myself to get me out of that fearful chokehold. And now we've reached the last habit that I do not want to bring into 2025. I probably have many more habits, and I'll do a part 2 of this video if I need to, but y'all, not having a good morning routine is affecting reaching my goals. And let me tell you why. So I'm not a great morning person. So if I wake up, let's say I'm supposed to start work at like 9:30, right? If I get out of bed at like 9 a.m., quickly get dressed, get showered, do all of that, then I'm starting work already in a very like rushed and anxious state because I didn't have time to like decompress and get ready for the day. Ideally, what I would like to do is at least like have time to work on my own personal projects before work starts. That could include going to the gym and then maybe like submitting an audition or checking casting notices, writing a script for my podcast, sending an invitation to a potential podcast guest, editing a YouTube video. There are only so many hours in the day, y'all. Only so many hours in the day. So if I'm sleeping and getting up right before my 9 to 5, and then I have to be at my 9 to 5, so that's 8 hours gone. After my 9 to 5, there's only a few hours where you can like eat dinner, have a life, go to a workout class, or if I'm in acting class, I'm in acting classes all evening and I'm going to bed at like 11 o'clock. So there's only so many hours in the day. So I'm realizing I'm shooting myself in the foot by not giving myself ample time in the morning to work on my projects and also just like prepare myself for the day. Because when you start in such a harried, anxious state, you're sort of setting the tone for you to be anxious throughout the day. Ideally, like I mentioned, I would love to work out in the morning because there's just no other time to do it. I would love to journal or meditate, listen to calming music, like drink some water, just like look outside. I just want to have a calming start to my day so that I can take that energy throughout the day. And I try different things, y'all. I'll try to have a routine, and then something will happen, and then maybe I get an email or something that sort of throws me off, and then I just get distracted for the rest of the morning. And then again, I'm rushing into starting my 9 to 5. So going into this new year, I want to have a morning routine that I can actually stick to and commit myself to. So let's see how it goes. But not having a morning routine in 2024 really, I think, kept me from a lot of things because, again, I didn't have time to work on my goals. It kept me anxious. I just wasn't settled. So I definitely want to change that in 2025. I want to have a morning routine. So that's just me dragging myself a little, letting you guys in on some of the habits from 2024 that I will not be bringing into 2025. I will try not to bring it into 2025. We're all a work in progress, and I'll keep you guys posted. Let me know if this video resonated with you at all. Were there any bad habits that we have in common? How are you working on getting rid of those? Let me know how you're feeling about 2025. I'm starting 2025 wanting clarity, wanting purpose, wanting to see actual progress and actually see that my goals, I know my goals are attainable, but I actually want to see that they are and start to see some traction. So let me know how you're feeling about 2025. I can probably do an episode on sort of how I'm approaching the year. Like y'all know, or I've said it before, my new year doesn't start till February. So I still have some time because the holidays always are a rush. You're finishing up work, finishing up projects. And then I come to Nigeria, and y'all, Nigeria in December is full of social events and going out and family. You literally have no time at all to decompress or journal or think about the new year at all. So I use January to sort of still reconfigure. I think a lot. I try to meditate. I try to think of setting goals that are coming from an authentic place. I don't think you need to have all your goals ready by January 1st. I don't think you have to have your plan for 2025 ready by January 1st. So I give myself a month to sort of settle down into things. So don't be surprised if next month I'm coming out with a video talking about the new year has started and sort of how I'm looking at the year. So look out for that video, but next month. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking about 2025. Let me know what more you want to see on the Steady Making It podcast, what sort of conversations you want me to have with guests, what sort of topics you want me to address on the podcast. Let me know if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know what you want to see more of on my channel. I'm excited to really commit to you guys. I'm excited to grow my audience on here. And I'm really excited just to encourage the girlies. If people can just tell me they feel encouraged by my podcast, it helps them chase their dreams. It helps them be intentional. It helps them to love themselves. That's that's why I'm doing this. So let me know what you want from this podcast and conversations you want me to have. Let me know how you're feeling about the year. Let me know what bad habits you don't want to bring into the year, or just let me know how you're doing. Say hey. All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. I promise. Bye.